Individuals wishing to speak on agenda items must complete a sign-up card prior to the item being introduced. Sign-up cards are available on the table. Individuals wishing to speak on non-agenda items may do so under petitions and requests. No sign-up card is required. Citizens will be given 3 minutes to speak on all agenda items. All sign-up cards and exhibits being submitted to the CRA shall be placed in the box on the table.
The purpose of the City Council meeting is to discuss city business, and proper decorum must be displayed by all in attendance. Public input and participation is encouraged. However, all persons in attendance shall comply with the rules for meeting procedures and shall refrain from any action that disrupts the orderly proceedings of the council meeting or hinders a council from performing its duties. No person shall interfere with the rights of others to speak, hear, see, or attend the proceedings, make threats of violence, disrupt the proceedings with shouting, fail to confine remarks to the agenda item under consideration, nor continue to speak after the allotted speaking time has expired, as these actions shall be considered disruptive and disorderly. The mayor shall caution any person who violates these provisions and disrupts the orderly proceedings of the council meetings, and they shall be directed to comply. Any person who fails to comply, as cautioned, shall be ruled out of order, shall forfeit the remainder of their speaking time on the agenda item under consideration, and will be requested to return to their seat. Persons who fail to comply as directed shall be subject to removal from the council chambers by law enforcement or such other actions as may be reasonably necessary to enforce these regulations. Notwithstanding, the mayor may order the immediate removal of any person from the chambers who possesses a threat to property or life safety. Nothing in this section shall be construed to limit or restrict a person's right created by the Constitution, law, ordinance, or regulation.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the City of Titusville Community Redevelopment Agency regular meeting, March 10th, 2026 at 5:30. City Attorney, do we have a quorum?
Yes.
I'm going to call this meeting to order. Please take a moment of silence for the invocation. Thank you very much. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Mr. Executive Director, I really want to call on you, but I think we have some minutes to approve.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman, and members of the board. We have one set of minutes to approve from the regular Community Redevelopment Agency meeting of February 10th, 2026.
Move to approve those minutes.
Second.
I have a motion to approve the minutes by Member Nelson, a second by Vice Chair Cole. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Mr. Executive Director.
Yes, sir. The next order of business is new business item 8A, and that is the fiscal year 2025 City of Titusville Community Redevelopment Agency Annual Report. And to supplement the attached report, our CRA planner, Sue Williams, has a short presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. If you haven't looked at the CRA plan, I hope you have. It's the annual for fiscal year 2025. The reason this is so important, number one, it's legislated, and we have to do this, and that's the reason it's in the format it's in. The legislation clearly calls out things that we have to have in there and state. So you see summary and numbers and how much projects cost, and then you see the summary at the end. Specifically, it has specific items in there to meet those legislative requests to make sure we're in compliance. The second reason, and I believe this is really important, is this is our chance to tell our story of what we've done in the last year. And the CRA has done a lot. So this is what you've done, and you should be pretty proud of it. So I've just done a brief overview on this presentation. So this shows the beginning of the assessed value. Actually, this CRA started in 1982, and at that time, the assessed value was at $20,000. So you can see how it peaked when the condos were built in 2006, 2007, and then, of course, bottomed out with that recession and also then the close of the NASA shuttle. Obviously, now then we've incrementally gone up, and we're a little over $1 million in TIF funds. We do not have the TIF currently yet for last fiscal year. We'll get that from the county before the April. I wanted to show this to you. The completed projects and the ongoing projects are in the plan, but there's a list of them. And then I gave you a graph because I wanted to start with a graph this year. Next year it'll be totally different. But I want you to see when people say, oh, well, the CRA, what they do with $1 million, the million in TIF. Notice that we offset a lot with grants that's done. And also, we help with public works funds into it as well. And that's a partnership as well as we do with the historic preservation as well. Oops, I turned it off instead of on. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. Next slide. So this shows the grants that the CRA did last year. 3 were awarded for $80,000. What's of importance here is to see the 13 grants that we reimbursed at $241,000. That's the largest amount since I've been here. And note that some of those grants that were reimbursed were about 8 years old, like the Launch Now, because they have to meet certain criteria to get those reimbursements. So that's why it's such a large amount. Again, these are before and afters. You've seen these, but again, the last reimbursement payout was in fiscal year 2025, so that's why these are listed. Before and after on the Roots Cava, and of course, this is Launch Now, which is mixed use, residential, and commercial spaces. And right there is a picture of what it looks like now, and that's one of the apartments that are rented, and all of them currently are rented to 20. And I understand there's some sort of new interest in the downstairs now. So hopefully we'll keep you posted on that. Return on investment. This was very big last year when it was in legislation that our study shows that we get the return on investment is over $14 for every $1 of grant money spent. This is a great project because it's a demonstration project, a low impact development, which also helps us reduce flooding on Indian River, which was a very large thing this past year especially. So it created a bioswale, pervious parking spaces, raised the elevation, and again, that helps to filter that stormwater that runs into the lagoon. So that's a huge success for the CRA. Another great success is Scobie Park. This property was actually donated to the city years ago. And this is a culmination of a partnership with Brevard Zoo, the National Estuary, and the CRA. So the CRA cost was $35,000. The cost was much more than that, but because of our partnerships, we were able to leverage some funds there and create something very beautiful. Tree box filters. I know y'all love the tree box filters. A total of 20 throughout the CRA in 3 different locations. So what I found interesting was the amount of nitrogen and phosphorus each year that it removes from the water going into the lagoon, which is substantial. The total is 300 pounds of nitrogen and about 60 pounds of phosphorus that does not get into the lagoon because of these tree boxes. And they also are aesthetically pleasing as well. Again, the river force main, this is something that is funded through Public Works, but is a very big deal throughout the CRA because of enlarging the pipes and, again, safety for our lagoon and our water sources. So that was completed in fiscal year 2025. That started in fiscal year 2023. Infrastructure, y'all did a great job with the infrastructure. And this is specifically interesting because originally, the CRA allocated the $244,465 to put in the rapid flashing lights and other safety features. Due to the diligence throughout the years of working with FDOT, at this time they have said there's no cost. So what that's going to do is actually in FY 2029, which we will have to fund some in FY 2027, is the resurfacing, the other resurfacing. And that's going to cost us about $365,000 or $367,000, and that's going to be due to the paving of the roads in between the north and south, because it would look really not good if we did not pave it, and we need to anyway. So that's going to help offset, and we can budget adjustment that when we need to. Broad Street, as you know, this is a major catalyst for our downtown. Work has begun on that. It is in design. As a matter of fact, the surveying is going on currently, and they're doing soil borings starting next week on Broad Street. So we're actively meeting. We had the kickoff meeting for this, And we have a standing meeting every 2 weeks with ACOM currently. Another great one, this is preserving history. So there is a before of what the handprints look like. They are currently being restored. Actually, if you want to see 3 of them that are already in place, go on out to the park, go to the furthest granite triangle by the lagoon and look west, and you'll see 3 sets that have been placed up on the granite. So they are being restored piece by piece. And next, and actually that's a great picture of the excavation. It's an engineer that's doing that, and he had to be very creative in the removal process, as you can see. But the lights are next to go in, and they've already dug the holes for those, so we're moving right along. These are the non-capital projects. There's an entire list of them. This does not encapsulate all of them. They are in the plan, though. And what I wanted to first let's go to the policing. As you can see, the burglar, which, because we pay for that, we budget for that within the CRA. And the burglaries, as you can see, have declined very much. The one thing I did note was an increase in the commercial burglaries, and I question that. Basically, that is still within the average. The average burglaries are 4 per year in the CRA. We are 5% less. No, we are more than 5%. The city average is 230. So you can see there's a big difference in the burglaries between city and non-city, and that's also in the annual report. Traffic incidents, this breaks it down with injuries, stops, and non-injuries. Obviously, there were more traffic stops. As you notice, we were paying close attention to the speeding and the pedestrian safety, so that's the reason for that. Again, more community policing so far. Last year, we spent $26,219. The Main Street program is alive and well. It's alive and well. I'll give you an update. So the Main Street, there has been a group that has been formed. They have an executive committee, board, I should say. So currently they are reviewing their bylaws, and their next meeting should be next week. I attend every one of them as the city liaison. So they are moving forward. And their next step after the bylaws will be then creating the 501c3. And I put the pictures in here for the non-capital because I wanted to show you what a difference it makes. Some people say they're little things. There's the directory, there's our banners for placemaking, there's the new sunshades purchased, and then when we create a beautiful space, this happens. So that's a huge success as well. The Miracle City Market is downtown once a month on Sundays, and they just submitted to me that they will be coming, they want to come forward as well during the summer months, once a month on Sundays to be downtown, which creates a lot of great activity and more business for our local businesses, bricks and mortar. And that's it with the presentation, and I'll entertain any questions and be happy to answer anything.
I'm not seeing any, Ms. Sue. Thank you very much for the presentation. Appreciate everything you do. City Clerk?
There's one card, Stan Johnston.
Stan Johnston, I have some opposition to this report. Obviously, I have some. It talks about safety matters like the crosswalks and so forth, and the goal of the city of Titusville to make things safe. So what is she forgetting to include? It has to do with this letter right here. This is the letter that I sent to all council members. It's my Christmas letter. And my Christmas letter talks about a number of things that happened. Like while I was taking a sewage spill test, I was arrested. Wasn't told what I was arrested for. Interrogated, signed papers, went to jail. While I was in jail, I was visited by two police officers. So what happened? So I'm going to court, and they can't find my interrogation. They can't find the paper I signed while interrogation. They can't find the police report while I was in jail.
Mr. Johnson, please stay on topic of the CRA.
This has to do with paper. So in other words, it has to do with the safety. In other words, I'm telling you, there's dishonesty here. There's dishonesty in the presentation. And because you're missing a lot that has happened. And in this case, one of the big things that's missing is spraying people with sewage. Spraying people with sewage, right? Shake your head no, like Mr. Cole. Yeah, no, yes, it did happen. It did happen. Yeah, no, yes,
Mr. Johnson,
it
please stay on
happened.
topic. I'm going
It
to officially
happened. In
caution
other words,
you if
this
you don't get on
happened
topic
in
within
the
2 seconds.
CRA area. I don't like you interrupting me. So in this case is that I'm one of 41,000 professional engineers residents in the state of Florida, and I don't know any of them will agree with what you did. I don't think God would
Mr. Mayor, point of order. You're supposed to be talking about the CRA
Can you stop the clock?
report,
Can
the
you stop the
CRA
clock?
report, and you're not.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Cole. Mr. Johnson, please take a seat.
So
Mr. Johnson,
I'm talking
you
about
forfeiting
something
the rest
that-
of your
that you
time
guys
as you're
did,
not on topic. Please have a
that you
seat.
did. It has to do with this in the CRA
Mr. Johnson,
area.
please have a
This is
seat.
what you have. This is what you've done.
I'm gonna ask you to
Spraying
leave.
people with sewage. So
Please have a
I'm going to have
seat.
to sit down because I showed again.
No,
in
you're sitting
violation
down
of my
because you're not
freedom
on
of speech.
topic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Executive Director?
Yes, sir, the last item on the agenda is item number 10, the Executive Director's Report, and that's just a listing of day-to-day activities undertaken by the CRA planner.
Member Moscoso?
Sure. I have a few things for discussion if you guys would entertain that. I was talking with Sue at the community event on Saturday, and we were talking about the usage table. And I was just asking how, when it was last updated and how certain things are allowed downtown and you know, what legislation might affect that. And so I don't know if that would be something that you would be interested in, is having the staff look at our usage table and perhaps bringing it back. Maybe there are things that we could allow downtown or things that maybe we don't want to allow downtown. But perhaps that's something that if you guys would want, we could take a look at that.
Thank you, Member Moscoso, for bringing up the item that I placed on my report at City Council meeting for our discussion. Member Nelson?
I think we need to approve the 2025 annual report. I think
Thank
we've got to do
Yep.
that.
Member Nelson, is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Second.
All right, there's a motion by Member Nelson, a second by Vice Chair Cole. Any further discussion, Member Moscoso, about the motion?
I have a few other things.
I understand, but there was a motion made and, all right. All right, no further discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Member Moscoso, you have the floor.
Yes, sorry. I thought when I talked to you that you said that you were going to bring it up with the,
No,
It was-
I thought we were going to talk about it at the 6:30 meeting.
okay, well, sorry.
My bad.
And then another thing I spoke with Sue about is actually Palmer downstairs, our security officer, had a really good idea about the fountain. And he asked Sue to look into, and I think she already has all the information, but I don't know if you want to speak to that. You know a little bit more about the cost and what is upcoming and just kind of some of the ideas that have been floated around.
I do. That fountain has been actually a team effort. And I think our team would like to present that next week. If you want me to speak about it now, I certainly can. If I'm going off the top of my head, I think the calculated expense annually there is approximately $25,000 for the pool. It currently does need repairs. Looks like it's based about $75,000 for those repairs now. We're looking at creating, and you've been familiarized now with the septet, and that's actually, common sense as we've seen it, we see it every day. But then when we have a septet report, which is of course confidential, and we don't have that yet, it is mentioned in that septet report. And so we'd like to see it as an activated space, a creative space, an open space, much like what I was pointing out in the comments, that if it's a creative space with, that people can come to and enjoy, and then we can bring a cost basis to you of what that would cost and the savings over like a 10-year period, because it is substantial. So that's something that we have a team that's been working on, code enforcement, sustainability, and CRA as well. So that will probably be coming forward to you. But I'm glad to know that that more than one group is talking about this. So it is a topic of discussion, and we're looking at we wanted to make sure with the history that we weren't stepping on any toes as well. So I've done some research in the city clerk's office as well about if there's any contracts on it, and there are not currently. There never was. There was a committee back in 92, I think, that was trying to raise funds for the exact same reason. I think they raised about $6,000 at that time, and $9,000 was needed, and the council pitched in to fix the fountain at that time. Prior to that, back in the there's really some interesting history. Back in the 90s, there was a vote by the council actually to fill it in. And then the committee stepped up. So there's a lot of dynamics to it. And yes, we're still in the researching phase, but that is something we're seriously looking at.
Yeah, and I had a group of Boy Scouts reach out to me. They want to do a project. And so bringing the community in for something like this, perhaps even the tree team. I mean, there's a KBB, there's a lot of people that could participate in this, and it's just prime location. So thank you so much. And Palmer downstairs was really super excited about this, and because I think he sits there and he watches how much is being spent and what's being done, and so I just wanted to make sure that we were able to have that discussion. So thank you so much for looking into it.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Executive Director?
Yes, sir. I've neglected to mention that we have to do petitions and requests. I didn't realize Mr. Johnson spoke on the agenda item. I thought he was at petitions.
Gotcha. It is now petitions and requests. So this is where you can talk on any item not on the agenda.
My name is Stan Johnston, and I object to your meeting minutes of February the 10th, because I sent an email to the city, and she's got a copy of it over here. Emily has a copy of this. And what it says is that 2 violations of my freedom of speech at 2 council meetings, February 10th, by Mayor Connors. And it says, please, in the minutes, this is addressed to the city clerks, to show something about the city's improper misuse of preventing signs, photos, posters, or similar that relate to the matter discussed in my speech to be used to accompany my speech. Nothing's in there. Nothing's in there. I object to it. And I think you guys should object to it too, because I'm suing you. My attorney would like to see that in there. Yes, he would. I would like to see it too. But it's been deliberately omitted from the minutes. Deliberately. Deliberately. Why? Because you want to shut me up. You want to be have dirty tricks. So I'm asking you to go ahead and put it in the minutes what happened. In other words, what happened was I was removed when I had a poster, February the 10th, twice. CRA and council meeting. Is it in this CRA meeting? No, absolutely not. In fact, I had two different posters presented at those meetings. One was this one that shows no drainage under I-95, and this one that shows the sewage spill. So now that I've shown this, I think I have to sit down, because I've shown these things and I'm not allowed to. So,
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
okay, so I'll sit down. So no thank you for being dishonest. Okay? You understand?
Thank you. Is there anybody else for petitions and requests? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned.